We can go right ahead and talk about Kevin Durant and the possibility of him joining the Houston Rockets, or the Houston Rockets possibly trading for Kevin Durant, because when I say Kevin Durant is joining a team, a lot of people might mistake that for Kevin Durant is going to sign with another team, because he is essentially the I'm not even gonna say what I want to say, but he hops around from team to team. He really does. He loves doing that. And one of the things that he loves to go to competing teams. So I'm honestly very surprised that the Houston Rockets are actually trying to trade for him, knowing that Kevin Durant wants to be on super teams and teams that are competing. Like, I mean, I'm not calling this Phoenix Suns team, a super team, but they do have two other all-stars that are incredibly talented, and Kevin Durant has literally never been in a situation where he hasn't played with two other all-stars. Literally never. Now, aside for the one time with the Brooklyn Nets, where it's like, he had just Kyrie Irving, and they just had that was still a very formidable team. Like, as much as as it pains me to bring up the past and the mistakes and the tragedies and the horrors of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving era, most of the time he's had two other all-stars. But and even on that Brooklyn Nets team, the Brooklyn Nets on that team had 3 all-stars and 4 Hall of Famers, and Kevin Durant was a part of that. So the Houston Rockets being interested in him, honestly, very, very, I'm intrigued, because, how are they going to be able to get Kevin Durant if they don't have another star to coincide with him? Because he's not going to be happy when he's in a situation where he can't win the easiest way possible. I know it sounds like I'm talking down on KD, but I genuinely feel like that's the mentality that he's at. I genuinely think he just wants the easy way out in every single time. Because if he didn't want the easy way out, why did he decide to join the Golden State Warriors all those years ago? Why? He is actually, fun fact, he is the main reason why the NBA adjusted their salary cap rules, and why we have a first apron and a second apron, because of him. It's all his fault. So, anyways, aside from that, I'm looking at this article real quick, and I'll bring up Jimmy Butler a little bit later, which is, that might be the leverage that the Houston Rockets will have in recruiting Kevin Durant, if that does even happen. So, Kevin Durant could be moved yet again. This is what the article's saying. On Tuesday night, the Nets, they acquired their 2026 first-round pick from Houston in exchange for the 2027 first-round pick via Phoenix. The Rockets also reportedly gave up their right to swap picks with the Nets in 2025, as they originally acquired the pick and swap from the Nets in 2021 as part of the James Harden trade. As of right now, Houston will draft number 3 in Wednesday's draft via the Harden trade, or they may not due to most recent reports. According to Woj, the deal the Rockets made with the Nets allows Brooklyn to control its own draft in 2025 and 2026 as it enters a rebuild. Meanwhile, the Houston Rockets are trying to position themselves to make a blockbuster trade for Phoenix Suns star Kevin Durant. Should be noted that Woj said the Suns have remained steadfast in wanting to make another run with Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. So basically, they're saying that the Suns, they have the full intention of running it back with this big 3: Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker. And based off of how the results were this season, this previous season, a sweep, I don't think this is the best idea. The team lacks a lot of depth, and the team also lacks a lot of defense. Literally, the 3 best players on the team are known as scorers, not defenders. On top of that, the way that they score is a very inefficient way of scoring. I don't want to say that the way that they play is bad. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that their shot selection and the shots that they choose to take, mid-ranges, off the dribble, contested pull-ups from the mid-range area, they're all very inconsistent shots. And relying on those inconsistent shots is exactly why Kevin Durant and most of his teams haven't really been able to do much in the postseason. Like, when he was on Brooklyn, him and Kyrie relied on those inconsistent shots, and they missed everything in the second half. They went like 0 for 18, if I remember correctly, when they went up against the Celtics in Game 2. That was oh my gosh, that Game 2, like, it gives me nightmares. And not only that, it's been going on. Excuse me. I don't know what that was, but while Kevin Durant has been on Phoenix, that's been the shot that they've been looking for. And, in his first year with Phoenix, they ended up losing to the Denver Nuggets because they couldn't hit any of the shots that we usually see them take because they're so inefficient. Same thing happened this year, where they couldn't get their offense going, and because they lack the defense, they ended up getting swept. It's really a flip of the coin. You either play well or you don't play well, and you not having defense to sort of back you up and help you sets them back a lot. So, looking more into this article, this is a quote from Windhorse saying, "The Rockets are interested in tempting the Suns to try and trade Kevin Durant now. They don't want to do this later. They want to put this on the table to see if the Suns would be tempted by it." And, despite, if the Suns are tempted or if they're not tempted, then, there's a good chance that Houston is most likely going to use these picks to try and trade elsewhere. Like, they aren't entirely focused on getting Kevin Durant. And not only that, I believe that's why Jimmy Butler is also on the trade block, as well as, one of the possibilities of, being traded over to Houston. Now, honestly, I don't know if this is I really don't know if this is really a good move. Like, I genuinely don't. The way Kevin Durant's career has sort of shifted ever since he left Golden State, it's baffling, and it's sort of like in hindsight, because it's like, when he was on Golden State, everyone was saying he was one of the best. Then he goes over to Brooklyn, and, he has that phenomenal series against the Bucks, and everyone says he's, like, the best player in the world. But then everything else just goes downhill for him there, and he's unable to do anything in the postseason because he doesn't have the help that he needs, and also because he doesn't play well without the help. And it's like, you can't be that guy when you're surrounded by those guys. Those guys being the 73-9 Warriors team. You cannot. It's just not going to work. And honestly, in this entire article, they don't really mention Jimmy Butler, but I did see Jimmy Butler as, a potential option for the Phoenix Suns. Well, not the Phoenix Suns, for the Houston Rockets to acquire in these next in this free agency, and in these trades and in the off season, and we'll see how it unfolds. But really, obviously, the big story is Kevin Durant. That is obviously the big story, and Jimmy, it is a wild card. Like, any team he could go for, but Houston has expressed interest, and I just wanted to point that out. So with that, we are out of time for this second segment. If you guys would like me to do, a segment focusing just strictly on Jimmy Butler and with the Houston Rockets, then just let me know and I can do that tomorrow. But with that, we are going to go ahead and move on to the third segment, where we talk about the Golden State Warriors and how they seem to be ready to pursue Paul George. So I will be right back after this short break. Be sure to stay tuned.